Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and we're picking this one up right after the conclusion of the last video with the Hawk beating the leader's humanoid robot codenamed the Hawk Killer. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend you go check it out as it explains why we're opening on this scene. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video. With the Hawk now fully recovered from his fight with the humanoid, reporters start flashing pics of him, but the Hawk quickly gets annoyed by it. Betty then asks Glenn how are they going to turn the Hawk back into Bruce Banner, which he responds saying it's anyone's guess and not to get close to him, as the Hawk starts to get irritated with all the noise and people around him. Betty tries to comfort Hawk, telling him that he's a hero now and he won't be hounded, while Glenn continues to caution her, but she just responds saying the Hawk would never hurt her. Now cutting to who looks like Lyndon B. Johnson, aka the 36th President of the United States. He's also aware of how the Hawk saved New York, proving that he isn't a threat to America's security. He then goes on to say that within the Hawk is Bruce Banner, one of the greatest atomic minds in science, and that we must find a way to free him and make him normal again. We then see that he begins to call someone, saying that he wants to send a message to General Ross. Cutting back to New York, we see Boomerang hiding in the shadows along a building. Still planning to take down the Hawk, he throws one of his explosive discs at him, causing the Hawk to become enraged. Now enraged, the Hawk says that no one attacks him, then states that he's going to fight back. He then begins to lift a news van in the air, causing everyone to panic and run. Betty then says that something has to be wrong, as the Hawk wouldn't go berserk for no reason and that he needs help. Glenn then tells her not to be a fool and to come back before General Ross tells him to protect his daughter. General Ross then rallies his men and says that he wants every available man at their post. Switching scenes to Rick, we see that he has now spotted the Boomerang, then tries to let the General know that the real threat isn't the Hawk but him. But the General isn't hearing none of it and tells Rick to let go of his arm as he's got a city to worry about. Rick then rushes to the Hawk to try and calm him down, letting him know that if he continues on with what he's doing, he'll be hounded and hunted again. The Hawk then responds saying that nobody scares him and that guns are all around him and he's going to show them what he thinks of their guns. General Ross then tells his troopers to keep their bazookas aimed on him, letting them know that their bazookas might not stop him, but it should slow him down until the heavy artillery gets there. Then in a blink of an eye, Hawk quickly disposes of them before they can even let off a shot. Rick again tries to stop the Hawk, but he pimp slaps him and says that he's done listening to him before leaping away. We then see the Boomerang happy with the results of the chaos he caused, saying that he would defeat the Hawk and become a hero to the people after setting Hawk up to be the bad guy. Switching scenes, we see Glenn, Betty, and General Ross witnessing the Hawk's departure. General Ross then vows that he will take the Hawk down even if it takes the rest of his life. Betty then tells her dad that he doesn't know what he's doing and that Bruce Banner shouldn't pay for the deeds of the Hawk. Glenn then says how do they know that Bruce isn't responsible to Betty, then goes on to say that they know so little about the Hawk and that Bruce can be in control of the Hawk all the time before someone notifies the General that he has an urgent message for him. With the General now receiving the message, we see that he says that if he deems the Hawk to be innocent, then he is to be granted full and immediate amnesty, clearing him of all guilt, which with everything that has just transpired, I'm pretty sure we all know what his verdict is. The General then states that half an hour ago his answer might have been different, then shreds the paper apart. Congratulations, Boomerang, well played. Now cutting back to Boomerang and Hawk, we see that the Boomerang is in close pursuit. With the Boomerang fully catching up with the Hawk, he notices him and remembers he tried to kill him last time they met. The Boomerang then purposely goes the Hawk to pursue him, and that's just what the Hawk does, chasing him until they land right where he wanted him to be. Hawk now being in the right spot, Boomerang tosses one of his discs at some heavy rocks, causing them to fall on him. But this is the Hawk, and he easily disposes them with one punch. Complimenting the Hawk after stopping his attack, the Boomerang then tosses another disc right at the Hawk's feet, to which the Hawk responds that explosions can't hurt him. Boomerang then counters and says what about the landslides it causes before the ground beneath Hawk starts to crumble, causing him to fall. With a boulder now on top of the Hawk, he tells the Boomerang does he think he's been beaten. The Boomerang then casually responds saying he wouldn't exactly call him a big winner before the Hawk launches the boulder in the sky, jumping up towards him. But the Boomerang has a trick up his sleeve and throws a special disc at Hawk containing tranquilizer gas potent enough to put a bull elephant to sleep. We then see the Hawk say he starts to feel tired as the gas starts to take effect. With the Hawk feeling the effects of the gas, the Boomerang takes the chance that he's been waiting for and lands a strong right hook to the Hawk. But his hit has no effect as he wonders why he doesn't crumble. The Hawk then slaps the Boomerang away, stating that he's tired but can still brush him off. Slowly recovering, the Boomerang thinks to himself that the Hawk is too powerful and that nothing short of death can stop him. Then says that can be arranged before running off to a nearby dam at the mouth of the canyon. Using his jets to leap up, he then shatters a concrete wall, causing water to burst through, stating that nothing could survive, not even the Hawk. The wall now shattered, Boomerang celebrates then rushes back to the Hawk, telling him that he wants him to look at him so he can be the last face he ever sees before his demise. He then asks the Hawk does he hear him, to which the Hawk responds saying yeah, before he lets out a powerful strike, destroying some nearby rocks with enough force to cause a semi-sonic boom. The Boomerang also gets caught in the strike, causing him to crash land onto his back. The Hawk then starts to realize that he's growing weaker and turning back into Bruce Banner. We then see the Boomerang start to beg the Hawk to help him escape, telling him his rocket boots were shattered when he hit the boulder, landing on his back, and now that the dam is breached, water is pouring in. Moving off instinct, the Hawk grabs Boomerang and makes a leap for a landing, thinking there's enough time before he changes back. And he barely makes it, grabbing onto the ledge of a cliff, but he starts to get more weaker, almost fully turning back into Bruce Banner, causing him to lose the strength he needed to pull the Boomerang up as we see him fall to his doom. Finally climbing up, Bruce thinks to himself if only the Boomerang didn't tranquilize him, he would have remained the Hawk and been able to save him. Ah, how poetic is that? We now see Bruce Banner asleep as a glow in the sky starts to appear. The glow starts to get brighter and brighter until it vanishes and nothing but a voice is heard saying, "I have found the one I seek." We then see that the voice being heard is none other but the Stranger. And if you want more info on him, check out issues 11 and 18 of the X-Men 1963. The Stranger then tells Bruce to rise as his body starts to levitate. He then goes on to say that he's been studying the Earth and he does not like what he has seen. Humans have been too consumed with greed and hatred towards each other and have become obsessed with atomic power. Remembering that Bruce was asleep, he then commands him to awaken, but to remain immobile, telling him that he has learned of his power to transform into the Hawk, and that he shall use that power to cleanse the Earth and wipe civilization clean, since only then can a new day dawn. Continuing on, he says that the humans who survive shall build a better world under his command before sensing Bruce's thoughts of concern of the fate of millions. But that is of no concern to the Stranger, as life means nothing to him, only the peace of the universe, and if it takes destroying the entire solar system, that's what he shall do, for he is the Stranger and he walks alone. The Stranger then questions Bruce after sensing that he sees him as a menace. He then tells him that it doesn't matter if humanity perishes, as he will build a better world from its ashes, and that he shall help the humans even if he has to turn Earth into a fiery inferno. Continuing on, he tells Bruce that when he is transformed into the rampaging Hawk, it shall be him who will do his bidding. Switching scenes, we see Betty, Glenn, and General Ross at the Missile Command headquarters. Betty then asks Glenn is there any news on the whereabouts of the Hawk. Glenn tells her not yet and that they will find him and for her not to worry. Now speaking to her father, she asks him when they find Hawk, how will they get him back under control without injuring him? To which her father responds saying that they will wipe the Hawk off the face of the earth if they have to. Betty then starts crying, telling her father has he forgotten that if he destroys the Hawk, then they will also be destroying Bruce as well. But the general has heard enough from his daughter, saying that he won't be reminded that she is still in love with a freak, then tells Glenn to take her back to her quarters. Glenn then thinks to himself that Betty is still in love with Bruce in spite of everything, before a video call comes in with a soldier finding Rick intruding on the premises, saying that they have to let him help them find the Hawk. Now on their way to meet Rick, General Ross throws a temper tantrum about Rick always interfering, which to be honest, it is kinda wild how he's always on military grounds. Betty then chimes in saying that he might have some useful information for him, then asks why they must always hound the Hawk, to which the general responds saying, because he's a blasted menace. Again, really getting Triple J vibes from him. Glenn also chimes in and says that Rick is the only human being the Hawk seems to trust, before quickly thinking to himself that he's getting soft and the important thing is to destroy the Hawk once and for all. Now meeting up with Rick, he quickly explains that they have to let him try and reason with the Hawk, because he will never surrender to them and the fighting will never stop. He then goes on to say that the Hawk isn't a killer, he just wants to be left alone and that he really doesn't want the Hawk killed. The general then says that he isn't going to promise him anything, but he can stay with them until they find him. But after that, it's anyone's guess before giving Rick what I assume is military clearance. He then tells Rick that they've all seen the Hawk's rage and how powerful he is, so unless he finds him first, they will probably already have finished him. Rick then tells Betty that he needs to find the Hawk first, but he doesn't even know where to look, to which she responds saying that he's the Hawk's only hope, for if her dad's missile task force attacks, Hawk won't stand a chance, and if Hawk dies, so will Bruce Banner. Now cutting back to Bruce and the Stranger, we see that he continues to explain how he will utilize the Hawk to destroy anything that mankind needs to sustain life and use for safety. He then goes on to say that he must be certain that the Hawk will obey his orders before causing an interspatial dimension warp, transporting a machine across galaxies. A machine that he will use to replenish his powers, making his will irresistible so that the Hawk must obey him. Speaking of the Hawk, we see Bruce Banner quickly start to change into him in mere seconds. Hulk then tells the stranger that nothing stops the Hawk from moving and no one gives him orders. But the stranger isn't worried, as he says that this is what he wanted so that the Hawk can use his rampaging power to do his bidding. The Hawk then leaps towards him, saying that he will kill him before the stranger starts to no longer be amused and reinforces his power with the machine. With his power now boosted, he blasts Hawk into a huge boulder, but the Hawk smashes it to pieces, then leaps towards him. The stranger then compliments the Hawk's strength, saying that no force on Earth will be able to stop him, thus his plan cannot fail. But the Hawk then replies saying that he can't either, before the stranger engulfs him in his rays, telling him his power is not of Earth's, and the rays that now hold him are strong enough to change a planet's orbit. The stranger then praises the Hawk's resolve, saying that he would love to remain and study him for a longer period of time, but he has other matters in distant galaxies that now concern him, then increases the amount of energy in the rays around him. With the Hawk now unconscious, the stranger starts to enforce his will upon him, telling him that he hates all of mankind and exists for the sole purpose of their destruction, and that nothing may change or dampen his hatred and rage, then commands him to go. The Hawk then suddenly awakens, saying that he will smash and destroy before leaping away, leaving us with the stranger saying that the curtain shall rise on Act 1 and that he pities that he shall not be there to witness it. But the stage is set, and the play has begun, leaving Earth to the Hawk's rampage. Okay, there's a few things I want to say about this two-part issue before I give it its rating. And number one, right off the bat, not a huge fan of the art style this time around. For lack of a better word, it looked rushed, but overall it did what it needed to do. 2, the dialogue in this was great. I love the back and forth between Boomerang and the Hawk, and especially when the stranger came in. Felt like something I hear in the MCU movie. I still can't get over how ironic it was that the Boomerang ultimately got himself cooked by tranquilizing the Hawk. But the most thought-provoking thing for me this video was the stranger. I wonder what he plans on doing if the Hawk doesn't carry out with his plan and what that means for the other heroes on Earth. He seems extremely strong, but now onto the rating. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. It's really close to a 4.8 because of the art style for me. Personally, wasn't the best, but the dialogue really kept me immersed in the story. Now that's not to say I don't enjoy Gil Kane's work, especially in future issues. He does some amazing things. I'm just speaking on this particular story. But maybe you guys think differently. Let me know what you guys would rate this two-part issue in the comments. Alright, that's all the time we have for this video. Keep doing what you love doing and be true to yourself. Peace.